Politics, a world of shifting alliances, where opinions can change like the wind. But why does this happen? Let's delve into the fluid nature of politics.
An ace, if I were ace, I will tell that white guy, Kalniaus, to keep quiet. Because it's not helping him at all. Kalniaus are the people you tell, or you must stop calling me. That type of a person who just messes up your political programs and wake up in the morning and say, Makashilo for president, and there's no even coordination. Which revolution is going to be led by such a questionable character like Kalniaus? Elections of leadership, if you've got a particular program you're advancing, should be led by people with credibility. Not a person who has buried his mother 5 times and asked for money from people, and then he comes from the grave and come and run your campaign straight from the grave. Who can have that?
Hello, fellow Africans. In the political arena, changing alliances are frequent. Politicians often put aside past criticism to forge new partnerships driven by shared interests or goals. And Malema is a prominent example of this. Consider Julius Malema, for instance. Despite his past criticism, he may find common grounds with figures such as Kalniaus, Busisiwe Mkhwebane, Mzwanele Manyi, Brian Molefe, Thabo Mbeki, and Jacob Zuma on specific issues. But let's not forget Malema's previous remarks about these individuals. Watch these clips as a reminder. How do we explain his stance?
We must ask her, how far are you with taking the DA to court because they said you are a spy? If you are not a spy. Because now we believe you are a spy. Your actions just suggest that you are a spy. So take the DA to court, because you said you went to take the DA to court and you want to challenge them that you were not a spy. Once a spy, always a spy. I told you that state security is hard at work, doing everything in its power to protect the Guptas and the ANC government. We should have listened. Before the DA spoke about the spy thing, I was the first one to receive a message. And if you remember, I spoke to that point in the comment. I was the first one to receive a message that she's a spy from reliable spooks. But because I don't believe in spook politics, I said, these ones are like that. They might be information peddlers. I was told by the spooks themselves that she's a spook.
Love or hate Julius Malema. This is him on Busisiwe Mkhwebane, and now the MP, trusted MP of EFF.
But I said, why deny an African child an opportunity? She has proved herself through an interview. Let's give her benefit of doubt. Yo. We didn't know what we're doing. Now we regret that thing. We regret it. South Africa, we regret supporting this comrade. She's going to collapse that office. That office as it is now. You know, I saw a document from EFF Parliament or Governance Task Unit saying we've referred the matter to a public protector. I was like, why is the EFF sending things to this one now?
Pragmatism plays a significant role in politics. Despite being previously labeled a dishonest man by Julius Malema, Kalniaus may not dwell on past criticism if aligning with Julius serves mutual interest or advances their agendas. However, some may find Kalniaus' forgiveness unbelievable, questioning whether he is simply singing for his supper, as they say. As the saying goes, there are no permanent enemies in politics. Relationship can shift based on circumstances, leading former adversaries to become allies.
It's just a waste of time. She's not going to do anything in defense of public purse and the people of South Africa. The first thing she did when she arrived in the office, to change the channel, not to SABC. If she's so patriotic, not to SABC, to Guptas. To Guptas. That thing is not even a TV, man. It's not something you'll want to watch. So, my sister, you is bad. I tell you now. But I can guarantee you, we will solve this problem. We will solve it. We're just waiting for 1, 2. Once it lands in our hand, that's it.
Startling revelation, Malema accused former President Thabo Mbeki of steering the revelations behind the alleged concealing of a crime at Ramaphosa's Bela game farm.
And therefore they are asking themselves, whose agenda is Fraser driving? The answer is, Fraser is with President Mbeki in the unseating of President Ramaphosa, because President Mbeki says he's still disgruntled with unfinishing the term. What do you call it, Floyd? The Mahabane?
Zeter Mahabane, yeah.
Led the ANC, left before and came back to lead the ANC again. Mbeki is longing for Mahabane situation again. And therefore, there is an allegation that Fraser is actually working with Mbeki.
Good evening, Mr. President. I think the first thing I want to acknowledge is that the President was right when he said we're misled. And one of the misleading things which I was telling Zizi now was, we were told that the President, if he goes back to office, he will amend the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa so that he stays forever in power in South Africa. The second one was that he's concocting charges against President Zuma. And that President Zuma is not corrupt, he's an honorable man, and therefore he is fighting against President Zuma because he's got his own ideas on how the ANC must go forward. And thanks God, we lived to see for ourselves that no one was actually concocting charges against Zuma. Zuma was corrupt himself. And even when they left the office, the people who were concocting charges against him, he still got new accusations in the absence of those who were alleged to be concocting charges against him. So we've realized much more later that we're actually misled. The question which, Mr. President, you need to deal with is the issue of corruption.
But let's not forget the darker side of politics. It's often referred to as a dirty game, where compromises, betrayals, and shifting allegiances are all too common. Indeed, the fluidity of politics means that what seems firm one week can change drastically the next, influenced by public opinion, policy priorities, or electoral considerations. Inconsistency or adaptability in personality traits can be advantageous in politics. However, it's crucial to recognize that such traits aren't recognized disorders, but rather valuable tools depending on the context. Although these actions can be considered as flip-flopping by those following such politicians, though adaptability and changing stances are common in politics and are seen as strategic maneuvers, they can also be perceived as flip-flopping by those observers or followers. It ultimately depends on the context and the reason behind the changes. So yes, in certain cases, what appears to be adaptability could indeed be considered flip-flopping, especially by those scrutinizing a politician's consistency. Watch the following clips.
Our view is that Brian Molefe's appointment as CEO of Eskom is irrational. No individual can loot state money, be found against in the state capture report, fail to in fact appeal that state capture report, and then proceed in the name of clearing his name, fail to do that, and then go back to Eskom. We believe it's irrational. We believe it must be interdicted, and ultimately that he cannot occupy that seat.
The EFF has taken a decision to take Brian Molefe's matter to court because we think it is unacceptable. This thing is just turning our country into a banana republic. So we've now asked the lawyers to look at whether we can act on urgent basis since the man said he's coming to work on Monday.
So Brian must come back. Brian must come back. Mashele Koko must come back. So is all those Indian, colored, white engineers. We are in a crisis. They must not even, if they love this country, they must not ask for money, they must not ask for payment, they must come and rescue South Africa. Allegations were made against Brian, allegations were made against Koko. Commission was put in place, useless commission in the history of our country, where serious light was shed with the chairperson of the commission.
Ultimately, the trustworthiness of politics hinges on various factors, including the integrity of politicians, the effectiveness of democratic institutions, and the level of civic engagement within society. A well-functioning democracy relies on active citizen participation and oversight. When citizens are informed and engaged, it fosters trust in the political process. While politics may sometimes seem like a game played for personal gain, it also holds the potential to bring about positive change and improve lives. It's up to us, the citizen, to hold our leaders accountable and ensure that politics serves the greater good. Join the conversation and stay informed. Together, we can shape the future of our democracy. Thank you for watching. If you find this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Your support helps us continue to explore important topics and spark meaningful conversation. See you next time and take care.